Some of you may or may not remember some time ago, it was a while ago, um, we were telling you about how this is going to affect um, the fishing industry in the Falklands Islands, particularly the big calamari industry that there is over there in the Falklands Islands. And of course, this has had this is not only just having a massive impact on the fishing industry over there, but over here as well. In fact, we have seen today calls from Michael Gove on Monday that he wants a reset and readjustment with relations and the Brexit deal, which is quite frankly hilarious because, as we've seen so many Brexiteers arguing for, you know, saying that they didn't want a hard border, but I've seen Katie Ho argue that the problems that were caused in Northern Ireland aren't the fault of Brexit, they are the fault of something completely different, and then basically come out and flat say that she wants a hard border in the island of Ireland, which would be completely unacceptable on an international level. So, if you think that the problems are limited just to the UK, then they're not, because we have lots of overseas territories that are also experiencing a few problems, and namely the Falklands is one, because their calamari industry was a huge part of their economy, and all that calamari was shipped to Spain. This is going to have a huge impact on them. So, before we jump into them and talk about what's going on down there, please do remember to hit that like and share button. And of course, down below there's a link to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link. And thank you very much for watching. So, this comes from the Byline Times, and the title is Brexit Bites the Falkland Islands Calamari. The main export of the Falkland Islands economy is the Langwango squid, which is processed into a more familiar calamari for millions of EU customers, and has become a casualty of Brexit. Unlike the row over UK fishing waters, British negotiators failed to even entertain the rights of the Falkland Islands fishermen when the EU refused to discuss tariff-free trade for any of Britain's overseas territories. As a result, from the 1st of January, the EU imposed a stifling food tariffs on all products produced by Britain's overseas territories. They range from 6 to 18% on fish and to 42% on lamb. That's another one of the Falkland Islands' big exports. The damage is most severely being felt on the Falklands, the island that Margaret Thatcher aggressively reclaimed after Argentina invaded in the 1980s. The island has since been a totemic cause for successive Conservative governments. However, this seemingly was not seen during the Brexit negotiations, and now a 6% tariff has now been imposed on the squid, and tariffs of up to 18% on bigger fish caught in the South Atlantic. And squid accounts for more than half of the island's exports, which are caught by state-of-the-art fishing boats in a joint enterprise with Spain, and then processed in Vigo, northwest Spain, before being distributed across the Mediterranean. For a country the size of the Falklands Islands, the impact on the local economy and the government revenue will be significant, Tulsi Beckman, a member of the Falkland Islands Legislative Assembly, told the Byline Times. As an example, our fishing industry has been quite clear that in certain years, as a result of imposition of tariffs, that some vessels will be forced into a loss-making proposition. This is particularly challenging because not only is the major impact of tariffs immediate, they are being imposed on us while we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has had a significant impact on the Falkland Islands economy and society, particularly our tourism sector. Berkman said that a 42% tariff on the Falklands Islands lamb, of where there are over 500,000 sheep on the island, compared to the human population of just roughly 3,000. It has completely killed its EU market, causing hardship for many of the farmers. The UK has said that farmers could export their lamb to the UK tariff-free, but there are concerns that it will not compete against homegrown Welsh and Scottish lamb. Falkland pointed out that the islanders are not able to negotiate directly with the EU, as the UK handles its foreign affairs, but it may now be tempted to ask Spain to intervene, particularly in the processing of the workers in Vigo who could lose their job if exports from the Falklands are cut. The case for the Falklands Islands and other British overseas territories has been taken up by Charles Hay, the Earl of Kindle and chair of the House of Lords EU Committee, and has asked for a full explanation from the Foreign Office and the Minister Lord Talki Mahan Ahmed in a letter to him addressing the such. It said, or some of the extract said, how will you raise the Falkland Islands? Specific concerns with the EU. How will you support the Falklands Islands government in ensuring the continued sustainability of its fishing industry in the context of significant challenges in the view of the close economic and trading ties between the Falkland Islands and the Spanish fishing industries? With dialogue, what dialogue have you had with the Spanish government about these issues, and are any steps that it could be taken to mitigate the economic impact of the imposition of tariffs and quotas? Hay has also asked the Foreign Office to explain exactly why the EU said it had no competence or mandate to discuss the fate of British overseas territories, and how the UK government responded to it. Pointedly, he has asked the government to further explain a decision that hasn't yet been made on the amount of money that it needs to spend in overseas territories to replace the loss of the EU infrastructure funding. So you can see there are plenty of problems going down in the Falklands Islands, and one expects that these questions will provoke many awkward conversations within Whitehall. So, as you can see, it's not just here, but in the overseas territories as well. And if you may remember, I can't remember which island it is now, but there's an island, and the hospital that treats many of these islands is actually French owned. So the hospital is not on the British side. So if someone gets sick on that British island dependency, what happens? The ambulance can't, the helicopter ambulance can't exactly cross borders, and that's, again, we haven't actually heard what the resolution to that was, and that was brought up years and years ago. And like I say, just in the case of these Falkland Islands here, again, a situation that was foreseen and has not been repeated. Just the case with the fishing and the lamb, going to cause huge economic problems to an island that only has about 3,000 human inhabitants. Like I say, there's over 500,000 sheep on the island. Again, another of their main exports that is also now going to suffer because they do not have access to the EU single market. That is going to cause huge problems for them, and it will be very interesting to see how the Tories respond to this, because, like I say, the Falkland Islands was always a interesting rallying cry for them. We'll just have to see what happens, but once again, them getting money like they got from the EU, once again, don't expect to get any money from this Tory government whatsoever. So, as always, thank you for watching. Please do remember to hit that like and share button, and of course down below there is a link to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link. As always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.